Hello and welcome to your Mining Disrupt news update for Friday, August 4th, 2023. As ever, this is for entertainment and education purposes only. Nothing said on this channel should be taken as financial advice. If you're interested in partnering with us as a sponsor, please reach out. Once we get through the numbers, we've got quite a bit to cover today. We're going to loop back to that interview that Dennis Porter had with RFK at Mining Disrupt 2023. And then we're going to touch on some of the stuff that happened with KuCoin and WorldCoin and what was even happening. Was he squatting? We don't know. And then we're going to take a quick look at this KPMG report, who they are, what that even is, what that firm is, and what this report could mean for the future of Bitcoin. And then we're going to round things out with a quick look at the conference, a walkthrough of it, and what the overall vibe was this year. Okay, we're going to start here on timechaincalendar.com, and we can see right here in the top left-hand portion of that circle that the average block time is almost on target. It's at 9 minutes and 59 seconds, which means there's going to be a difficulty adjustment upward just barely of 0.19%. And right now, the on-chain fee transactions are 18 for a high priority and 10 for any time. The next halving is a measly 38,000 blocks away, still scheduled for the end of April. It looks like April 26, 2024 right now. And the hash rate average for the last 14 days is 372.4 exahash. Okay, so back to that interview that Dennis Porter had with RFK. And at this point, Dennis Porter asks RFK, what could you, as president, do to help Bitcoin adoption?
Well, I'm going to do all of the things that I promised to do in my speech in Miami, including I guarantee the freedom of people to control their own nodes, to control their own wallets. And that, to me, is very, very important, where we actually make Bitcoin into a currency.
So I did edit that. I want to be clear. I edited that because I wanted to get from the beginning where he talks about you having the control over your wallet, over your node, which is extremely important. And then he moves on. He talks a little bit about BlackRock and being able to get a ETF, and he goes on about that for a little bit there. And then he goes into that, what I ended there with at the very end, talking about being able to use Bitcoin as a currency. And then here at the very end, Dennis Porter asks this amusing question, and yeah, I'll just play it and you can watch here.
We got one last fun question for you. We want to all know how many Bitcoin you can bench.
Well, you know what? I was not benching any Bitcoin before I did the Miami conference, and people were telling me that I should put my money where my mouth is. So I got a settlement recently from one of my cases, from the Monsanto case, and I put all that money into buying Bitcoin. So I put my money where my mouth is, and I'm now a proud Bitcoin holder.
You can hear the audience's enthusiastic response there, because it's good to see somebody putting their money, as he points out, where their mouth is. He talks about all the freedom that Bitcoin enables. He goes to Bitcoin Miami, the conference there, talks about it, goes to Mining Disrupt talking about it. And as he mentioned, people were saying, hey, but you don't own any Bitcoin, so how can you speak positively about this thing when you don't actually own any? So he's like, all right, well, I'll buy some. Before I move on to the next segment, I need to touch on how important it is to control your own node. When you go to whatever your local bank is, Bob's Bank, and you see a number on the ATM or a number on the printout that says this is how much money you have there. You have $100. You have to trust that what they tell you is accurate. And most of the time it's fine. But every once in a while, the bank says, no, we're not going to give you your money. We've seen news stories about that in Lebanon, where you go, you ask for your money, and they say, nah, we're not going to give it to you, or we can't give it to you, or you no longer have a bank account because we just shut it down for whatever reason. If you are your own bank, and that's what a node allows you to do, then you don't have to trust anybody else. You don't have to connect to anybody else. You do it all on your own, which is all to say, it's really good to hear a presidential candidate, RFK in this case, saying how important it is for you and I to have freedom to control our nodes and wallets as we see fit. You ready for a little drama? I need to be very clear at the outset here that all the time this is true, but this is especially true when I go into something like this. These are my opinions. These are the opinions of Dell, the Hodl Sapien, alone. These are not the opinions of anybody else. Maybe people share my opinions, I don't know, but I am speaking for myself. That is it. On July 28th, this was posted. Mining Disrupt says, we just learned of a booth squatter at this year's Bitcoin mining event that was never invited on the official exhibitor or sponsor list. At KuCoin, please clarify why at WorldCoin was at your booth without our approval as an exhibitor. Very clear phrasing there. What I read from that, my takeaway, my personal takeaway from that is, we don't understand why this happened. We would like to understand why this happened. Help us figure this out. Why did this happen? This was not supposed to happen. Why did it happen? This from G Victoria B. That's convenient. Shouldn't you have people overseeing this, though? Better call would be owning up to how this slipped through the cracks, if this is in fact your conference. Queers in Crypto said. Queers in Crypto said, I'm not going to read that book title there. You can do that yourself. It's kind of a little bit hidden. Maybe that's good. But they say, isn't that precisely what they are doing here? They found someone squatting in a booth that suddenly appeared. They are calling it out. This didn't slip through the cracks. This person slipped in uninvited and they found them. Oh, and I found a book about you at the conference. And like I said, I'm not going to read that book title. You can see it right there. And now we've got this video here, which is interesting, and I'll play that now for you because this mystery gets a little bit more interesting as we go a little bit deeper.
Is it durable? Is it durable? Like if I dropped it, would it break? It would break. Yeah. Oh man, see, that'd be tragic.
So if you had trouble hearing what he said there, apparently that was Denver Bitcoin, Adam O. He says, is it durable? And the guy goes, is it durable? And Denver Bitcoin says, like, if I dropped it, would it break? And the guy goes, it would break. And he goes, oh, and then the Snoop Dogg. This posting here was July 27th, 2003. Dear KuCoin users, to enrich the variety of assets available, KuCoin's cross-margin trading platform has added the WorldCoin asset and trading pair. Now, is it just a strange coincidence that on the final day of Mining Disrupt, KuCoin announces some sort of deal, some sort of connection with WorldCoin, and on that same day, we see that dude at the KuCoin booth? That seems interesting to say the least. I am a proponent of the free market. If you want to go and put your money into whatever, then have at it. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But I definitely think it is a very sick idea to be scanning people's eyes, taking their personal information, things that are deeply personal about them, their irises information, and giving them just a pittance for that. So, again, free market, yes, but preying on poor people, preying on desperate people, no. Definitely no. Okay, with that out of the way, let's end on a positive note. Recently, we've been seeing the narrative around Bitcoin as a whole shifting. And the truth of the matter is that Bitcoin miners want cheap energy. That is just as basic, bones, simple to the point as possible. And just in this past week, we saw a report come out from KPMG talking about the benefits that Bitcoin mining can have for the environment. KPMG International Limited, or simply KPMG, is a multinational professional services network and one of the big four accounting organizations, along with Ernst & Young, Deloitte, and PwC. And right here, it says that they've got a network of firms in over 145 countries with a little over 250,000 employees. They are a large player in this space. So when they talk, people are going to listen to some of what they have to say. Recycled heat. Bitcoin mining rigs, which are specialized hardware, they use heat. You can use that heat to do other things like we talked about before. Heat a greenhouse where they're growing a bunch of flowers. Methane reduction. There's a bunch of methane. There's things burning off. Bitcoin miners can show up, tap into that, turn it into Bitcoin. And then you've got use of renewable energy. If you're in the Bitcoin mining space, you know all this. I'm not here to preach to the choir. What I am here to remind you and to give you thumbs up on is, yes, keep on sticking to this. Keep on doing what is useful, what is beneficial to people around the world. Energy is something that we need. Elon Musk, even though he has this whole company with Tesla, has said that, no, tomorrow we couldn't switch entirely to renewables. We need these fossil fuels. We need oil. We need these things to run the country. Have you seen the roads? Have you been driving anywhere? Do you see 99% Teslas, 99% Rivians, 99% Volts and electric cars? No, you don't. I don't know what the percentages are these days, but I'm going to just guess it's maybe 5% electric vehicles. That seems really high. It can't be more than 10. The point is that we need these different energy sources. We need energy and we need people Bitcoin miners tapping into energy wherever they can find it so that we can get that energy out of the ground, out of the earth, out of the sky, out of the air, out of the sun, and turn it into Bitcoin. And then when other uses show up, like hospitals and Christmas lights, video games, air conditioners, whatever, refrigerators, freezers, when those show up, then the Bitcoin miners can shut down. That's fine. They don't mind. They'll move somewhere else and get cheap energy again. As I close out here, I'm going to play a bit of a walkthrough that was posted by the Tech Hustler. He was just cruising around, from what I can tell, talking to people, meeting with people. I'm not sure if that's him there. I'm not sure. But he's going around, petting a dog here. I asked some people that were there, and I was told that the conference had so much positive buzz that people forgot that they were in a bear market, which is currently what we're in. I also got reports that people were posting on Twitter that it says here they were enjoying themselves so much that they hardly remembered to check the Bitcoin price, which is a pretty bullish sentiment. You're having fun, you're meeting people, you're making connections, you're doing deals, you're figuring out what you want to do going into this bull market. And I was told that there was more exhibitors this year than the previous year, which is a even more bullish sign. People are interested in mining. People are developing new technologies, new cooling systems, all sorts of different ways to do any number of things in the Bitcoin mining space. If you're interested in learning more about the energy and mining side of things, then definitely hit that QR code down there in the bottom and get your tickets to Mining Disrupt 2024, happening in Miami, Florida, June 24th through the 27th. Until next time.